Alright, what's up you guys? Welcome to the first action figure review on RetroShArK, and I figured what better way than to celebrate this debut of my RetroShArK channel by doing a review on the 30th anniversary StreetShark's Ripster figure, which is celebrating, like I said, the 30th anniversary of the return of StreetSharks. And this is part of Wave 1, which also includes Jab and Slash, which haven't come in yet, unfortunately. But we're going to take a look at Ripster first and then do a 90s comparison of the original StreetSharks figure along with it. So when I tell you that StreetSharks is one of my all-time favorite 90s cartoons, I absolutely mean it. So I'm extremely excited to take a look at this figure as, again, it is a revamp of the old 90s Mattel StreetSharks figure. So let's take a look at the packaging real quick, and we can see that it's freaking jawsome. It has the 90s aesthetic of the StreetShark figure inside its shark cage, which looks absolutely awesome. It's bent in, very nostalgic, looks just like how I did back when I used to see it at KB Toys. Really cool. Now the funny thing about this packaging is that when you look at Ripster inside, you can see that he's actually sitting down, which is kind of funny because usually the legs were more shorter, so it allowed the whole figure to stand, but this one is actually sitting down because it's more of a bigger scale, but nonetheless, really cool. We can see it says Caution, Power Punching Action, the amazing StreetSharks logo, the name Ripster. It says Try Me, One Bite by Mattel. On this side, it says Try Me, One Bite, and it says Ripster's name. StreetSharks logo there as well. On the back, we can see here that it has the amazing mural of the StreetSharks, which I'm really excited because I cannot wait for the other figures to be released. And then we can see here we have the gimmicks part of the Ripster figure, which looks great. And then the other two figures, Jab and Slash, part of Wave 1, which again, I cannot wait to review as well. And then we have Ripster's bio right there, which looks pretty cool. And then on this side, we have the Pull Back My Arm for Power Punching Action. Really awesome. And on top here, we have the little hook right there, which looks pretty cool. And then we can also see the fin, which allows you to utilize the gimmick, but we'll get to that in just a little bit. So other than that, I'm extremely excited to see how great this figure is. So let's open up this Ripster figure, and then after we'll do a 90s comparison. Alright, and before I do that, I just want to showcase the steel cage, which looks really cool. Now, like I mentioned before, Ripster is sitting down, which I thought was pretty funny nonetheless. So until he actually stands, maybe that'll be even better. But so far, I am liking what I see. I love the bentness of the pole right there, which looks really good. And everything else looks pretty great nonetheless. And originally, I wouldn't like opening my figures, but I think these are just freaking awesome, and I have to open it because I'm a huge fan of StreetShark. So now let's take a look at the Ripster figure. Alright, and here we have Ripster out of package, 1/4 of the Bolton brothers, and I will say this is an absolutely 10 out of 10 figure. It is beyond what I expected. It is better than the 90s one, of course, but overall the aesthetic of just taking him out of the package was just so nostalgic and just amazing to see how far they can really amp up the StreetSharks line, and I think it looks absolutely incredible. Let's take a look at Ripster up close, and I will say one of the things that I've always found interesting about Ripster as a figure is that whenever he looked straight into the camera, there was always this weird style design to him, which for me it wasn't technically the best, but whenever you actually turn him around to the sides, that's where the figure really stands out the most. The colors are absolutely pristine. I love that dark navy blue on him, looks absolutely awesome. The eyes, the detail right there by the gills and everything looks really great. And I will give them absolute credit that the proportions on this figure are so much better than the 90s one, which we'll get into in a little bit, but the white pearlescent teeth looks great. The whole muscle definition looks fantastic. And then the whole black jeans with the brown boots look absolutely great. I love this figure. You can see that they have the stitching there as well. The rips right there going above the ankles, which looks really, really nice and giving it more detail of the jeans and stuff. Really great. The back of the figure has all his veins and stuff. And one thing to note is that it has the same quality of the rubber from the 90s aesthetic, which again makes it even better. It's all that softness right there. So man, just it's just so beautiful, and it's just bringing back so many memories of watching this on Fox Kids and stuff. So I just love it. And even on the bottom, we just have all that copyright stuff, which is pretty cool. But we can see that he does have the fisted hands, which is nice. But first, looking at the gimmicks, we can see that he has the fin right there. So if you pull up, it has the same gimmick of giving him that biting action, which is pretty cool. I don't want to stress it out too much, but that's as good as it gets. And then we can see here that there is articulation from the arms, which, you know, you can pull out just a little bit, and then on top of that, you can bend the elbows that much. We can see that there is a hinge at the wrist, which allows you to move the hand up and down, which is really great. And in terms of extending the arms, we can see that it does packs a nice punch right there. Really great. And of course, there is that gimmick of allowing you to move from the torso side to side to give it that punching action. Really awesome. So already this figure is turning out to be better than I expected as a whole, just with the amount of new articulation that this figure can offer. And then here we can see that there is articulation at the knees, allowing you to bend it roughly this much, which isn't too bad per se. And there is some articulation right there by the ankles, which is really nice, allowing you to move it left and right. And again, you can move the legs sideways, in and out as well. So that's really great. I don't want to loosen the joints just yet, but you guys can kind of get the idea of the versatility this figure can offer. So overall, I'm very impressed with just how much this figure can do, and in terms of allowing it to stand and giving it that amazing jawsome action. But now, before we conclude, let's quickly take a look at the original 90s Ripster and see how great it is in comparison. Alright, and here we have both Ripsters. We have the 2024 Mattel version, and then we have the 90s Mattel version. So clearly a night and day difference, but the best part is, aside from the different variations of the color blue, we can see the aesthetics are roughly the same. Brown boots, black jeans, the belt looking pretty good. And as I mentioned earlier, the proportions are a lot better from the 2024 version compared to the 90s one. And of course, you can see the more articulation we have on this figure, which I just exampled. But here we can see that even for the old 90s one, you only have articulation to move up and down the elbows, but no wrist articulation or anything. And this one has a already sculpted and molded arm where you can't really do anything about it, where you can just move it up and down, but there's nothing else to it. So that was pretty one of the unfortunate parts of the old 90s one, is that you couldn't do anything about it. But again, the gimmick of this one, you know, moving it back and forth and allowing the arm to swing out and do a great punch. And again, the same standard, pulling the fin back, allowing him to do a bite, which is really great. But even then, the facial expressions and the design aesthetic is really great with the same rubbery. And some figures can be turning out yellow and stuff, but originally I will say that the 2024 version is by far the greatest and the best one I can say, because it just looks absolutely incredible. And I also wanted to mention that when you have both the figures side by side in terms of looking at the other direction, you can see how this one has more of that 90s accurate aesthetic compared to the 90s one in terms of the cartoon, whereas this one, like I'm saying before, the proportions are just absolutely incredible on this guy. This one still has that whole retro nostalgic vibe to it, which I do love because it just reminds me of where and how I bought the figure. But this one really captures the animated series, which makes it just by far even better. And you can say the differences of the blues can be a drastic change for some collectors, but for me, I personally don't care. I think they're both good in their own way, but for me, again, I think this one truly captures the essence of the 90s cartoon, and it just wows me in so many factors. Alright, you guys, so that was the 2024 Ripster by Mattel from the 30th anniversary RetroShARK line, which again, I'm so excited for, and I cannot wait to review all the rest of the Bolton brothers and hopefully some more characters coming down the line, because I hope they don't really stop at this year and continue to move further, because compared to the 90s one, this one is by far one of the best that I've seen, and it's just absolutely incredible, and I love everything about it. It's just making my inner childhood gush with so much excitement and nostalgia. So I'm just looking at it is beyond what I can expect. So I'm really excited and happy to finally have this, and I will be doing more RetroShARK reviews down the line, so stay tuned for that. So other than that, I want to say thank you guys all for watching and enjoying my first review on the RetroShARK channel. I do have other channels you can see down below where I do action figure toy news, and on top of that, other RetroShARK related reviews and stuff. So stay tuned for that, and then we'll do an ultimate comparison down the line with other 90s properties as well, because this channel is just getting started. So I want to thank you guys all for watching. Be sure to give a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next episode.